Marguerite Annie Johnson, or as we know her, Maya Angelou, was born on April 4, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. As an African American, Angelou experienced firsthand racial prejudice living in the South, but she also suffered at the hands of her family. Despite some unfortunate events, Maya Angelou, much like Martin Luther King and Susan B. Anthony, still provided the world with groundbreaking achievements that opened the gateway towards improving the lives of African American women. The life Angelou led when she was a child was full of struggles, and throughout her teenage years, this trend did not change. At the age of 7, Angelou was raped by her mother's boyfriend, and in retaliation, her uncle brutally murdered her abuser. Traumatized by the experience, Angelou became virtually mute for the next 6 years.
And the police came to my maternal grandmother's house while I was on the floor playing a game with my brother.
And you were 8 years old.
I was 8. By that time, I was about 7 and a half. And the policeman told my grandmother, within my hearing, that the man had been found dead, and it seemed he'd been kicked to death. It so startled me. It traumatized me. I decided not to speak. Then my voice might just go out and kill people randomly. So I stopped speaking for 6 years.
At the age of 14, Angelou dropped out of school and got a job as San Francisco's first African-American female cable car conductor. Later in life, Angelou went on to graduate high school, but it was just weeks before she gave birth to her only son. Shortly after he was born, she began working as a waitress and a cook to support her child. Not quite satisfied with this lifestyle, Angelou decided to pursue her love of the creative arts, including music, dance, performance, and poetry. After she received a scholarship to a performing arts school, Angelou began starring in many off-Broadway productions, including Porgy and Bess and Calypso the Heatwave. In the 1950s, Angelou moved to New York and became part of the Harlem Writers Guild. She soon began to work on her book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which was published in 1970. Angelou's book caused controversy across the entire country. This was due to the fact that it brought to light the struggles of being sexually abused. The book was originally banned in several schools, but has now become part of course requirements at college campuses and high schools around the world. Since then, Angelou has written 36 books, with over 30 of them becoming best-selling titles. Angelou was also the first African-American woman to write a non-fiction bestseller. During the 1960s, Angelou moved all around the world, going from America to Egypt and also to Ghana. She was working as an editor, freelance writer, and a professor at the University of Ghana when she met Malcolm X. After meeting Malcolm X, Angelou moved back to America and began working on civil as well as human rights with him and Martin Luther King Jr. all the way up until their assassinations. In a terrible coincidence, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on Maya Angelou's 40th birthday, and since that day she has refused to celebrate her birth and instead mourned the death of her longtime friend. Angelou has received numerous awards and recognitions for her work in writing and in the civil rights movement. She has received over 50 honorary degrees and was the Reynolds Professor of American Studies at Wake Forest University for more than 25 years. She has also served on 2 presidential committees and was personally asked by President Clinton to propose a poem for his inauguration speech in 1993. In 2000, Maya Angelou received the National Medal of Arts, and finally, in 2010, Barack Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Obama said, "The Presidential Medal of Freedom is not just our nation's highest civil honor, it's a tribute to the idea that all of us, no matter where we come from, have the opportunity to change this country for the better." After experiencing health issues for a number of years, Maya Angelou died on May 28, 2014, at her home in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Throughout her life, Maya Angelou was an inspiration to African American women all around the world. Her success encouraged others to aim high and do more than expected of them, because she believed a person could overcome any obstacle. As the nation mourned her death, she was recognized as making an impact because she had the ability to remind us all that we are God's children and that we all have something to offer.